The Jenn Royster Show, intuitive guidance to inspire your life, is an inspirational hour that'll take you on an epic metaphysical journey to discover the spiritual approach to life's greatest challenges. Dr. Jenn Royster is an internationally known intuitive counselor, spiritual teacher, and energy healer. Imagine having the ability to use your innate positive energy to dissolve the stuckness in your life, whether it's emotional, physical, or spiritual, through this incredible dynamic show. Get ready to be transformed from Dr. Jenn's live guided healing meditations and intuitive readings, and unveil the power of connecting to spirit, the angels, and your higher self. Dr. Jenn is passionate about helping you find the answers you're looking for through an inward journey that'll strengthen your connection to spirit and help you trust your intuition. Now, here's your host, Dr. Jenn Royster.
Hello everyone, welcome to the show. Good to be here. We have a new moon tomorrow and it's bringing some great energy. April is continuing to not disappoint with energy that's happening. There's a lot going on, and it's just starting with this new moon coming in tomorrow, April 5th. It's in Aries. Aries is a great sign for getting things started. So we're going to tap in and ask and look for some insights with the angels on, how can we move through this energy the best and make the most of it? And that's what my intention is every month, really, when we do this. But it's really bringing the best opportunities to really start things new and fresh. So if there's been anything that you've been holding on to or waiting or anything like that, now's the time to get going with it because it's really good energy. The first week we have fairly positive energy. Now, I want to address that first because if you were feeling up and down or maybe feeling a little bit of physical weirdness, you're like, am I getting sick? No, maybe I am, maybe I'm not. Or dizziness or any of these strange, like, what's going on? I feel great, but why am I feeling all this weird? Make sure you're okay, obviously, physically and in your health, but there's really strong energy waves coming in, and it energetically, I feel that kind of stuff all the time. And back in the day, they just look at you like, what? But I can feel that it shifts and I can change. I can tell that it's coming in. And I'll feel it too. So if you're all of a sudden having extra headaches or the dreams or, digestive things have been popping up for people and they don't have anything going on. So you just want to pay attention. Don't worry as soon as you have something, but of course follow through, make sure you're okay. But honestly, sometimes it's just the energy and our bodies are adjusting to it and it's reacting to it. Your body is this huge antenna. It really is when it comes to energy. And it's waking up and fine-tuning because this is really strong energy coming in to help us shift. And things that used to be okay with you, and you might find that you just can't eat the same way or you just can't tolerate certain things anymore. It doesn't mean a negative as much as it means listening to what your body's trying to tell you. If it's trying to tell you, hey, you need to stop eating this, is just not good for you anymore, that doesn't necessarily mean it's not for somebody else, but there's some things that are just toxic to everybody, but you want to listen to that. You really want to pay attention because the antenna is calibrating your body. The antenna for energy to let you know what's going on and for you to listen and trust your own intuition. You know what's right for you. Your soul knows. And that's what you want to hear and pay attention to, and you want to really respect that. When we don't trust it, when we don't trust our own, instincts, that is such a disconnect that can really make you feel isolated. And I notice and I hear that a lot from people. If you're empathic, you might be feeling things a little bit more. I know that I have. I've had some just different. It's like it's taking it up another notch. But this energy right now is the go-getter Aries energy with this new moon. And a new moon energy, if you feel moon energy, you want to work with moon energy. A new moon is the beginning. It's how you start fresh on something. Full moons are clearing out. So this one being in Aries is a very good go-getter, proactive, get things done lead. It has the confidence. There's a lot of confidence with Aries, and sometimes people can feel a arrogance with that, or they can feel somebody else's. Yes, that can happen back and forth, but we want to work with the confidence in ourselves with this energy to get things started that you want to start. I mean, it's perfect timing to support your dreams. It's perfect timing for the efforts that you want to put in. And if you've been feeling for like a year, a couple of years, like things are just holding or stuck for you, this energy has a courage about it too that helps you just bust through the fears, the hesitations, the anxieties. Like, you know, there's that saying, feel the fear and do it anyway. I know. But if you're nervous about something or it's unknown, now's the time to go for that. And right behind this new moon energy, in 5 more days, on the 10th, Jupiter energy comes in, goes retrograde, but it's kind of cool. That one is a planet of expansion and possibilities and creative and new pathways. And now you have Aries that wants to just go, and then you have that coming in right behind it. It's a perfect lineup to help you move through and get set up for the rest of the year, what you want to bring into your life this year. It's a big year. It really is. It always has been ever since we moved into this in January. It's not going to ease up as far as it keeps flowing in. We don't want it to. At this point, we're like right in the midst of a huge shift. And if it was to just stop, slow down, I don't think we'd be satisfied with that either, because now we would feel like we're just stuck. This is really helping us change our lives for the better. So we're going to be talking about that. We're looking at some insights about what the angels are suggesting, and I tapped into that. I always do that before a show starts, about what can we do with this? I mean, how can we move through this? And there was a couple of tips that will help you throughout the rest of the month. So that's what we're going to talk about. So let me say hello to everyone. So if you're joining us over in the live chat on YouTube, that's at Jenn Royster, my YouTube channel. That's also live streaming on my website, jennroyster.com. And we are also live streaming on Facebook if you're over there. So hello to you as well. That's on our network, Transformation Talk Radio. And I did share that on my Facebook pages. So hello, I see the YouTube chat. So let me say hello to everyone. We have Robin, David, Annie. Annie's from New Zealand. Oh no, that's Megan. Your name is interesting, your username, but you go by Megan. Okay, so that's Megan from New Zealand. So she's all the way on the other side of the world, and it's nice that you're with us. And let's see, she sets her alarm for the show, but oh, and you missed it last week. Well, we missed you too. David, hello David, Shadana, Beth, the journey to becoming me, yay, Judy, awesome, you guys, it's good to see you guys here. We have a group that really collects regularly, and they're getting to know each other and one another, and we're having a community build over there, so it's kind of nice. We also build a community in the Angel Retreat. For those that want a little bit more, we put exclusive content. We have a private community over there, and we do some live streaming Zoom calls over there where we're one-on-one and we hang out and we answer questions a little bit deeper. If you want to check that out, I have the links up, or you can go right to my website and find it very easy in the Learning Center. So if you had something, I want to ask you a question, because we're going to go right back into this, because I really am excited about this energy. If you had something that you really want to do this year, your goal is to have it happen now, this year. Now would be this year. It doesn't have to be like 5 minutes ago. But when it's a big goal, what is your goal? Do you have one in mind? Are you still trying to wander about there energetically, or you're not sure and you keep changing your mind? What do you do? And then if you did have a goal like, oh, I wish so-and-so, do you talk yourself out of it? Do you change your mind? Do you hesitate to start and then you don't get anywhere, this energy is going to help you. But you want to be willing to tap into it. So that's the whole thing, because you don't have to. You don't have to tap into any of it. But what if it really could help you? What if you could really move into something and embrace just a new way of being? To me, when I hear that statement, it's refreshing. What if you could embrace just a new way of being? There's opportunity. Dimensions. If you talk dimensions, you have 3D, third dimension, which is what everybody knows. Fourth dimension, a lot of people are in right now because it's the transitional energy. And then there's quite a few moving into fifth, and maybe you're going through all three. You can go back and forth. Usually once you've hit 4 or 5, you really don't want to go back to third. I don't. You end up, oh, I'm back here. I don't really want to stay here. And you find that more and more, you really don't want to be there. But fourth is a place where you start questioning things, questioning beliefs, questioning, I don't know if this is right for me anymore. That's a good place to be, actually, for shift. That doesn't mean, oh no, what am I doing to myself? I mean, that's a third dimension reaction to something happening in fourth. Have you ever thought of it that way? And that helps you start to wrap your brain around, wait a minute, simultaneously, all these different dimensions or frequencies are available to us. Which one are you choosing to be in? So if you find something very positive happens to you, you were probably in a higher frequency, experiencing something wonderful. And then there might be this reaction that's not so positive that kind of pulls you back down. And now you're back down in third, where it's fear and worry and fret and nothing ever works out. And it's like, how did I get it back here? And you can feel it. You can feel that shift all of a sudden happen. Well, guess what? Just as quick as that went that way, you can change it and go back. And if this is very new to you, practicing with affirmations, the I ams, I love I ams, like I am worthy of success, I am worthy of financial stability, I am worthy of love, I am worthy, I deserve happiness, that kind of thing. You may not believe it when you first start those, but they help you. They help you lift. And, sometimes you just feel like that just feels kind of weird to say that. Well, it does at first when you've been in a tough spot or you've been through something. But nothing's impossible with this kind of frequency. So I really love that. Now, everybody gets the opportunity to embrace something new, a better way, okay? Everybody does. This particular new moon is one of the best for manifesting. Yay, manifesting. Oh, there's that word, that magic word, manifesting. Yep. This new moon, it's wonderful for manifesting because there's the confidence. You feel lifted, you get excited about something. You're not doubting as much if you want to tap into this. It's good for setting goals. This one is very good for planting a seed of something new that you want to see grow over time. This one is perfect for moving with spring, which really the first 3 months were getting us ready with all those supermoons. And now we're here at the beginning of, all right, what are we going to do for this? We're going to really move into this now. This sets us up for the rest of the year of what we want to do with this energy. And it's really preparing us for another big shift in 2020. And yeah, I know, it just keeps going. But that's change. That's what energy does, change. It moves forward. More and more things are happening where you're learning and discovering how you can take care of yourself for your health, your mind, your body, that balance, that was important. This is an 11 year, so it's a transformative year, absolutely. And it's also a 3. 3 means mind, body, soul. I've been seeing 11s a lot, but I'm also seeing, a lot of people are seeing 3, 3, 3s. If you're seeing the triple numbers, you want to pay attention to that because it's an attention getter. And the more that it repeats, the stronger that energy is. And that might be different for everybody. And sometimes you might see, you know, 4s one day and then 3s the next day and 2s the next day and 1s. And it's kind of letting you know where you are. It's like letting you know how it's going. And to me, it's a wonderful communication with the universe to let you know where you are. So this really does have a lot of positives to it. So I want you guys to think about what you want to set in motion. What do you want to set in motion? If you could set something in motion right now with this new moon, what would it be? We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to start really diving in on what the angels have about this energy and how we can make the most of it. I'm Dr. Jenn. You're listening to the Jenn Royster Show. We're talking about angel guidance for this new moon in Aries that comes up tomorrow, April 5th. We'll be right back after the break.
Tune in to the Jenn Royster Show, intuitive guidance to inspire your life. This amazing show is an inspirational hour that will take you on an epic metaphysical journey to discover the spiritual approach to life's greatest challenges. Dr. Jenn is an internationally known intuitive counselor, spiritual teacher, and energy healer. Call in for intuitive readings and visit JennRoyster.com for more information.
Welcome back to the show. Okay, we are talking about this new moon. Now, what can we do with this? We tapped in with the angels, and that's what I did before the show started. Now, here's some things we want to talk about so we can really work with this energy tomorrow. First of all, we have Aries. Okay, yes, that's good. Confidence, However, we want to keep ego in check. So, one of the things that's coming up about working with this particular new moon is we're going to work in making steps, to bring things into our reality, but we have to approach the energy a little bit different. Did you hear me? We have to approach the energy a little bit different than the way we've done in the past. This is what I'm picking up, okay? So I tapped in. I said, Michael, what's up with that? And they're like, you don't want to get ahead of yourself, overconfident. At the same time, you want to be confident. And I'm like, this is the conversation I was having with him. I'm like, that's confusing. How do I describe this? And so he basically told me, it's time to go deeper because we're taking you up another notch. And not the angels, the universe, the energy, the frequency, the whole thing is just taking us up another level. Do you remember a few months ago? I know some of you were really feeling it when we went up a level, and then it's just all over. And if you watch the patterns of, I really don't want to watch the news, to be honest, but if you watch patterns about things that are happening in events and things like that, or just people around you or you'll notice when these shifts are big, which we just did have another one, it goes a little awry. Well, and it also takes us up a level. Now think about when you were in grade school and you went up to the next grade, or you went up to middle school or up to high school, and whoa, it was just so there. Or go to college, like, okay, now I'm in a whole new playing field. Think of it that way. You're going up a level, and what you thought you were an expert at, and you were all comfortable, and you thought you knew, now we're in this new level, and we have to calibrate to the new level. And so that's going to happen. It's not going to stop happening. You don't want it to stop happening. This is how we learn. We're calibrating at another level. What that means is we lean in deeper. We go deeper for what's behind. Why do you want to do this? Is it your soul desire? Or are you listening to ego's desire? Sometimes that can trip us up when we're just starting out. We can get tripped up by what our ego wants versus what our soul path is. Going in deeper with intention to seek out the soul alignment is key here. It's different. It's not just, hey, I just want $1 million and a job and be, it's not like that. It's not like that. We can manifest pretty much what we want, but here we go with this. If whatever you're focusing on is what you're manifesting. Okay, but at the same time, it's like, oh, I just want all this money. And then if we want all this money, it also comes with accountability and responsibility and different levels of requirements, and then it's like, well, I didn't want all that. I just wanted the money. You see what I mean? That's a real basic when we're, younger. That's a very basic kind of initial, like, hey, what do you want to ask Santa Claus for kind of thing. It's different now because we're being made accountable for ourselves. We're learning how to be responsible for ourselves and our actions and our choices. This is not a negative. This isn't to make you go, oh, well, I'm not going to choose anything. You don't want to do that either because you're trust me, you're not going to want to stay in the old. That's like staying and shifting sand that's going away. You can't just stay there. Have you ever stood in the surf? I don't know. Some people, if you live in the middle, I call it the middle. If you live in the Midwest, you probably have never been to a beach. I don't know. Some people haven't. But if you stand in the surf or the shoreline and you try to just stay in that one spot, when those waves come in, it washes the sand away. And you can't just stay in the one spot, or eventually it's going away and you don't have any ground to stand on. It just keeps shifting. So the ego is something that you want to be made aware of. And it's asking yourself in meditation, is this what my ego wants? Or is this what my soul truly wants? That's the first thing that's so big, and it really matters. It really does matter. When you are listening to the ego, it'll, that's the types of things like, ooh, I'm going to meet my soulmate. everybody in your life is there for a reason, not just that. Like I said, the win in the lottery and all kinds of things. It's kind of a fantasizing type of experience. I know you know what I'm talking about, and I'm like, I don't want to hear this part. Yeah, you have to. If you don't want to hear it, you're not wanting to be responsible, which is the whole point here. But it's a path that will never satisfy what you're looking for. And that's the truth of it. It's a path that will, ooh, that would be so awesome. But then once you achieve it, you still don't know why you're not happy. Or you still feel like you haven't found something. That's because it wasn't from the soul. It's kind of a false desire. So here's the thing. If we start to really go, well, what is it that my soul wants? The soul will be different. The soul, it already knows what it wanted to do when it got here, okay? It's all about your higher self. There's no fear. There's passion that never dies. You're never tired of that, wanting to do it. You don't even need to like sit there and try to think about it all the time. If you were to just go with the flow and listen to, this is what's making my heart jump with joy. This is what I'm enjoying. You might have thought it was the particular job you were in, but maybe it was a particular type of client or a particular aspect of the job. And then you start to discover, I really love this. And it doesn't necessarily have anything to do with a job. It could just be the happiness and joy that light you up. And now that light from inside of you is just glowing and just beaming out there. And it lifts other people when you're around them. That's when you're aligned with your soul. And, I'm not saying you're going to know what it is right away, but it's actually, this is a really good moon to have an intention to work with that, to work with, okay, I'm always stuck. I don't know if I want that. I don't know if I want this, but I do. Sometimes we just have to like have this conversation like head on, like, all right, is this my ego or is this my soul? What is it? What is going on here? The soul will fizzle out. It'll get bored. It'll keep wanting something else, more, more, more. It won't have a contentment to it. The soul, on the other hand, or did I say soul? The ego is that way. The soul, on the other hand, is going to have contentment with the journey. It doesn't know what the next stone will turn up. It doesn't know the next path step. It just trusts it. I know. You guys are like, what? I know. I'm just the messenger. I just work with the messengers. I'm sharing. So hang on, guys. I know. This is crazy stuff. So when you're getting those number sequences, those are maps. Those are to know, oh, okay, I got that. I see. That's important. So you want to pay attention to that. Aries is like a masculine, proactive energy. So it wants to set goals. It wants to have a target. It wants to make it happen. And then there's this other side of you, which is more of the nurturing side. And this is a weird Aries new moon because you want to work with some of that other feminine energy that you may have, like that nurturing, that soul desire, that soul purpose. And it's kind of approaching it differently. It's allowing it to kind of just flow. You're adjusting and being flexible with it. And then it's different. So I know that's a lot to wrap your brain around. So let me take a second there for you to catch your breath. So I'm going to ask you again, what would you want to achieve this year after hearing that with this new moon? Is it the same? Has it changed? Has it tweaked? It really goes, because And Michael was telling me, he goes, you have to go deeper. It's time to go down another layer to understand why you're motivated for that choice. Why and where is it coming from? That's what he keeps repeating to me. It's like, what is the motivation behind this request? He goes, you want to know what that answer is? I'm like, wow. It doesn't mean you're going to hold everything up and you're just going to stop. It means it's going to really anchor in with a better foundation if you understand it that way. So, if you're seeing a lot of 4s, that's some balancing. You might need to have some more balance. I mean, pay attention to what is it telling you you are balanced, or is it because each of the times that the numbers come in, I notice that it could mean one or the other. And if you constantly are seeing 4s, it's either telling you that you need more balance, you have angels around you, you've been working with angels, or you are balanced. I mean, but you're going to know what that is with your own intuition. You want to trust that. So if you feel like you've been scattered all over the place, struggling to keep, on focus, that would be okay. It would obviously mean you need some balance, right? Angels are there supporting you. They're also supporting you if you are balanced. If you're seeing 3s, that's another balancing number. It's mind, body, soul. Is one area of life off track or getting more attention than another area? If you're seeing 2s, that's the beginning of creating new. After the 1, if you're seeing the 10-10, and I had a series where I was seeing a lot of 10-10s, that's the beginning magnified by the 0, which the 0 is magnifying that number. This is a major beginning for you when it doubles like that. And you could go on and on. 5s, lots of change are happening for you. And none of these are negative messages. They're not. Actually, nothing is. It's how we respond to it. It's what we're believing. So as soon as something happens and we feel the block, okay, or we feel the negative, that's causing the block. You have to stop and go, well, I don't want it to be like that. That's not what it intended. So some of that is the belief that needs work on. It needs to, okay, this belief isn't helping me every time this happens. It's just bringing me down. See, there's your power right there. You're identifying it in a 4th dimension frequency, and you want to soar higher. So whenever you're starting to identify it and catch it, you're at a higher frequency already. You just got to keep going. Is that making sense? So anyway, let's see, where are we? Oh, okay. So here we go with the manifesting, all right? Because this is a moon for manifesting, it's one of the best. It's one of the best for manifesting. That's why it's important. And that's why they brought to my attention to share with you. Need to make sure you're not fueling the ego. You want to make sure you're using this new moon energy for the soul. What does the soul want to achieve this year? It might be completely different from what you thought. It could be that you just want to balance your life. There's no big job to achieve or no big relationship. You just want to feel more serenity, or you want a little bit more peace. You may just want to simplify and enjoy the journey. The soul can do that too. So I want everybody to think about that a little bit. Think about what you want to do that will bring that contentment to your soul. Because that's what you're looking for, not, ooh, that's going to be so cool, I'll be so popular and all that. I know. I'm making it very basic when I say that just to make the point. None of you listening to this show are like that really. But I know that you have seen it, or maybe back in the day when we were much younger and we were trying to understand things. But where we are now is there's no judgment here. The ego is learning how to integrate and support and stand with your soul purpose, now you've really manifested it into the life. When it supports it that way versus against it, now you're aligned. The ego is not a bad part of you. It's part of who you are. We need that ego for that physical life we're in right now. But this goal of ascension and spiritual awakening is to align the ego to follow the soul, not the other way around. And it's to support it in this physical world. Is that making sense to anybody? Does anybody have anything they want to share? I see a lot of the numbers coming up over in the group. The twos, I think I did just answer that. I don't know, maybe you're hearing it, because I know there's a little bit of delay before you hear what I've said. Another thing that can happen is you may want to pull back, retreat, have a little time to yourself so you can think, not with the influence of anybody else. You may want to just say, hey, you know, I need to just process this and think about it. And you still want a plan of action. You still want a plan of action to move forward. And you will, believe it or not, it feels like we're saying the opposite because it's this physical world, right? And the ego likes to resist that. But when we're following our soul, you actually don't have to do all these things that you hear about to manifest. You just have to be. You just have to live. And it just starts to work. I know, you don't have to sit there and think about it. You don't have to try and make anything happen. It just happens. I know, I kind of like that part myself. Life is easier when we're following the soul. It will be simpler. It might seem like a different path than you were expecting, but it's not a negative. And yet, believe it or not, you're going to prefer it because it's your soul. It's your soul, not mine, not anybody else's. When you're listening to your soul's desire and you're working to manifest that, that's your contentment, that's your happiness, that's what really anchors. When the ego is supporting that, when the ego is trying to just be gluttony there and just want all this stuff like 5 minutes ago, that's really not realistic, honestly, because where is the depth, where's the meaning? I mean, we're here for soul growth, and that's not the other way around. We're spiritual beings living a physical experience. So the ego is necessary. It's part of who we are physically, but it is here to support what the soul came here to do. Gosh, I hope I'm making sense, because I feel like I'm going so deep. It is deep, I know. And, you know, I know that this moon is going to help a lot of you really clarify that, and you're going to feel a sigh of relief if you take that time to do that. You can already feel the energy of it. I mean, usually within a few days to a week before a cycle like that, you can feel it. And then on the other side of it, you can feel it a little bit. So we have so much energy coming in to align, to support, to help us grow, to help us lift into another frequency of life. I mean, when you really start to listen to that, it's going to take you to a higher frequency, and you're not going to want to go backwards. You should give it a shot, give it a chance. You might be pleasantly surprised. It's the ego that doesn't believe that's what you want. And the ego is very limited to just here. It's not about really anchoring in for the depth. It's more like the superficial, really. So it does a better job, and it's a lot more productive when it's supporting the other. So I'll leave you with that to think about. I'm going to take a short break, and when we come back, we'll keep going. If you have any questions, please put them out there on the chat. I see the chat, and we will be right back after the break.
Tune in to the Jenn Royster Show, intuitive guidance to inspire your life. This amazing show is an inspirational hour that will take you on an epic metaphysical journey to discover the spiritual approach to life's greatest challenges. Dr. Jenn is an internationally known intuitive counselor, spiritual teacher, and energy healer. Call in for intuitive readings and visit JennRoyster.com for more information.
Welcome back to the show. Okay, here's what we're going to do now. I want to give you a couple of steps. If you've got anything to write with, or you can always go back and grab this archive for this part. But how can we work with the moon? Okay, and I did notice, and you're right on schedule on timing, Shadana. She's asking, is there something we can do to utilize this new moon energy, or simply set the intention? That's exactly what we're going to talk about right now. So how cool is that? All right, she's ready to live her best life. You betcha. All right. So here we go. First of all, number one is when you go inside, what we were talking about, because you came here with a plan. You have the instruction manual. It's just within you. It's not outside, for one. So that's why we have to go inward to read that. Where's our guidebook for this journey? And one of the things that we can do to tap into the truth of it all, if we're not sure, say we're not sure if it's ego or soul, or I'm not even sure, is ask the universe to guide you. Ask it to guide you to the perfect path, place. What is the perfect way of life for you? And then you have to trust it. You have to trust that it's going to lay it out for you. I mean, that guidebook's in there. That journal, that manual to you is inside you, okay? You have to trust it when you do discover it. One of the easiest things to do is kind of, you may have a plan all set, but when you do this meditation and you sit down and you just take this intention, this is going to sound kind of weird, but trust me. I know you don't have to trust me, but listen. you're basically going to just throw all the plans out the window for a moment. Okay, you're like, okay, this is what I'm thinking I should do, but I'm not sure. So then push it aside and put a blank slate in front of you. Blank slate. Just completely go blank slate here. Like everything, just nope, let it, the goals, the plan, the dreams, just basically you're surrendering to whatever happens, happens. I know, but this is the moon meditation I'm talking about. When you go there, you're basically clearing out these pre-existing intentions that you may have had for years that could be part of the stumbling block. So you're basically just going into the meditation without a plan. Okay, that's really what I'm saying. Go into the meditation without a plan. Just close your eyes, take a deep breath, and just say, you know what? I'm just going to surrender to what the plan is within me. And your intention is to tap into that. What is that plan for me? Where is that manual that came with my soul, that brought me here, that already knows why I'm here, that already knows what I'm supposed to be doing? That kind of thing. You work with your heart energy. Think about your heart chakra. You could put your hand over your heart and just ask the universe to guide you. And then once it guides you, you're going to trust the next step. I mean, that's the part that feels kind of weird, the way I'm describing it right now. I know. Because it's like, well, no, I have this plan. I have this intention. I know. However, if you're willing to just surrender your own plan, now you're surrendering the ego, and it's getting the ego out of the way so you can hear it. You may go in there and find out it's the same plan, but a different approach, or something will come to you that I never thought of it that way. I just need to tweak it and do it that way. And it's a kind of a cool thing, because if we're willing to let go of the plan for a moment, we're willing to let go of the ego that could be causing the problem here, okay? That could be what's been the holdup for you. So we're not saying you're going to throw everything away, but you're surrendering it to trust that it could have a different path. It could have a different approach. It could have a different everything. But you're not going to know unless you're willing to not control the outcome. Who's trying to control the outcome? The ego side. Okay, that's where that's coming from. So this meditation is very powerful under a moon like this, because what you're wanting to do is go deeper, tap in and read that manual to your soul. Like, hey, here's your guidebook for this lesson, for this life. You know, you've got to go in there and you've got to get everything out of the way and trust what you pick up. I know, but you know, doing it like this in the group is too distracting. So you want to go and be to yourself, give yourself and respect and honor yourself, to give yourself a few minutes with no distractions. Jot down 3 or 4 points, like number 1, okay, I need to just surrender what I think needs to happen or what I think I want, and go in here with a blank slate. And it might feel weird. That's okay. And then number 2, the universe. Hey, from my heart, my true intention is to really connect with the soul purpose here, the soul intention. And it's, you know, letting go of any route that's predefined that you already think it should go. You're letting go of the control of how the universe brings the answers that way. It's going to get the ego out of the way. And that's what I love about this. And sometimes it's, if you're thinking you're hesitant to do this because, no, this is really what I want, then it'll still be there if it's aligned with the soul. It won't go away if that's it. You're just trusting that, you know, if you're afraid to do it like this, you know, that might be a question like, wait a minute, we're trying to keep control, or maybe that was the ego and we don't want to know that. I mean, this is up to you. This is a suggestion for working in this energy that's very powerful for manifesting at a deeper level and really aligning with the soul. Because if you're aligned with the soul and you know what that is, there's nothing stopping or getting in the way. It's just going to fall right into place. It really will. I'm not saying there won't be any effort on your part, so don't misunderstand that. I'm saying that the opportunities will line, it will. The doors open, it starts to work for you. It starts to make more sense. You find that you have more patience and contentment with it. So this moon is the really good one to do this with. And you know, if it's coming from the ego, if it hasn't been working for you for a while, then you haven't got anything to lose. You're not getting anywhere the way you've been doing it anyway, so why not? I mean, really, let's keep it real. So I really am sharing that with you because, I mean, I'm going to do it too. I'm thinking I know what my plan is, but I'm going to do it too because it's a reality check. It's being accountable. It's being responsible and not being afraid to go in and meet my soul face to face, so to speak, and really truly listen to the truth. I know. I'm going to do it too. I'm actually looking forward to it because I love what I'm doing, but there's always something that could change or tweak. There's always something that maybe I've missed that I could improve on. I'm just that way. I love discovering new things. And the soul is a wonderful place to get to know who you really are and your truth. So does that make sense to you guys? Do you understand that? Let's see. So let's see. Megan's saying, past 2 years, I have been running like crazy in the opposite direction from teaching, only to come full circle and crashing headlong back into it. See, well, the way, that sounded like a rough ride there, but maybe there's a different way. Is teaching just the thing for you? I mean, there's common denominators with things. Like for me, I know I'm a healer no matter what I'm doing. It doesn't mean that I'm going to heal you. I'm all about teaching people how to heal. So I'm about the energy healing. I'm about it in every way, no matter what I'm doing. Throughout my life, when I'm looking at my path and the things I enjoyed doing, or what I thought was going to be my career, or what I thought was going to be this and that, it always came back to that was the theme that ran through. So you're not necessarily looking for the exact activity or job or whatever location. You're looking for that theme that just is always a part of you. It's probably been underlying everything you do. And you look for that. Like what I'm doing right now with the radio show, I don't say that's my defining thing, like this is it. I stumbled into this. I wasn't even trying to start doing this. It just ended up happening and it kept growing and I absolutely love it. And by the way, this is the last show of season 9. We start our clock for season 10 in April, at the end of April, right around the 20th. So April 25th, I think it's the 25th. In 2 weeks, we got 2 weeks off for holiday here coming up. So we won't be back for 2 weeks. And then on the April 25th, we're going to start with season 10. That's when I started the show in 2010. Wasn't in April, so that's why we clock it that way. I didn't think I'd be still here doing this. And guess what? I learn something every day, trying to find research. I absolutely love it. I'm trying to find ways to inspire you, to help you, to lift you. I'm not tired of it because I love it. But I'm still going to do this meditation tomorrow because I want to make sure my ego's not in the way. We all got one, and they like to rear their head and think they know best, right? So that's what I'm going to do too. So please know that this is not scary. This is actually very freeing to do this. Just go in there with a blank slate, like you have no plan at all, and truly ask and just listen. Just listen and be there. Jot down anything that might come up afterwards. Jot down any kind of dreams, any experiences, the number sequences, anything that's messages, just pay attention to. And you might be pleasantly surprised that you weren't really off base that much, but maybe the approach might shift. Maybe something you were missing was the whole thing you've been looking for this whole time. So with that, I want to wish everyone a beautiful holiday. We are taking a much needed break. We have a lot going on here. I'm going to take some restoration for my soul. I'm going to tap in and make sure I'm listening to mine. And I hope that you'll take the opportunity to do this. And I hope this made sense to you. It's just time to take it up a notch. We're here at a new level to grow deeper with more awareness and consciousness. And if you're on the spiritual awakening path, you're not going to be satisfied unless you do. So you may as well give it a try. It might be just what you've been looking for this whole time, and it was right within you, and you just were missing it. So thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for listening today and joining us. I've enjoyed being with you. And we will be back in 2 weeks, April 25th. So we're going to miss 2. I guess that would be in 3 weeks. We will be back on April 25th with season 10. Thanks so much for listening, guys. We'll see you then. Namaste.
You've been listening to the Jenn Royster Show, intuitive guidance to inspire your life. Remember to tune in each Thursday at 8 a.m. Pacific and 11 a.m. Eastern Time on TransformationTalkRadio.com. Dr. Jenn Royster is an internationally known intuitive counselor, spiritual teacher, and energy healer. Imagine having the ability to use your innate positive energy to dissolve the stuckness in your life, whether it's emotional, physical, or spiritual, through this incredible dynamic show. If you've missed any part of this show or any other show, visit www.JennRoyster.com and TransformationTalkRadio.com.